Happy Friday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the one, the only Strawberry Swirl Girl himself on the other side of the computer, just right over there. Of course, we got the Freckle Mama behind the mat making all of the magic happen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do us a solid, do yourself a solid, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Ben kicking things off in the chat. Lee Corso here as well. If you joined us on yesterday's show, then you know why we're at home today, because some new look studios on the way. We're moving. So hopefully everybody can get a nice, fun look at that when that all comes to fruition. But Rubus, for now, just you and me chilling at home, man. You're on the other side of my wall, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually just right next to you. But we just figured that this would look better. But no, I think these shows are fun. Obviously, prefer to be in the studios, but like it's kind of rare that we get to have a conversation where I get to like look directly at you, because usually I'm like looking to the side or like trying to figure that out. So it is like I'm actually talking to you today, for a change of pace. I think I'll try listening today as well. Oh,
okay. We're trying all sorts of new things, huh? We're listening today.
Big season. It's a big season. Like we gotta make sure that ASU isn't the only team trying to get better here. I'm trying to add some new tools to my tool bag. I think active listening should be first on the list.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all here for that. I hope that extends. There it is. I hope it extends to all walks of your life, Rubus, including PHNX Suns as well. Bees and years, Zachary as well. Saying, let's go 2 weeks until football. That's right. 15 days. 15 days till the Inferno ignites again at Mountain America Stadium. The Sun Devils, the number 11 Arizona State Sun Devils, taking on, of course, the Lumberjacks from up north. Rubus was out at practice today. Vibes were high. Energy was there. These guys looked ready to be on the field and finally hit somebody not wearing maroon and golden again, just 15 days away till all that fun happens, man.
Feel so bad for NAU, but like not at all. Like it's going to be so much fun, man. I can't wait to be there at Mountain America Stadium. I can't wait for kickoff. I don't care who gets the ball first, because either way, ASU is doing something. And man, I can't wait to just see this team like release this built up tension and energy that they've had, because you also got to imagine for a lot of these guys, like, this is the first time they've taken the field since, a pretty heartbreaking loss in the Peach Bowl. And I know it's like, hey, let's move on. And like, this is a new season, but if you don't think that they're trying to get a little bit of that anger out, hit a punching bag or something, I heard some people say NAU might be better than we expect. There's no way that even NAU on its best day should put up double-digit points on this team.
Can I offer I don't think it's a hot take, but can I offer a prediction? I looked into my crystal ball this morning, and I think I've got something for you.
Okay.
The Arizona State Sun Devils will open the 2025 college football season at Mountain America Stadium in 15 days. With a kickoff return for a touchdown, one-upping the way that they started last year with a pick six. Give me a Raleek Brown house call to start off the show.
Dude, how electric would that be if Raleek just 99-yard kickoff return, like right off the bat? Oh my god!
I mean, that would be special.
Now I'm getting my expectations high. Now I'm gonna rant if they don't do that.
Expectations aren't real, Rubus. They're not real. Did you not pay attention and listen to what Dilly was saying when he sat with us at Big 12 Media Day?
Speaking of unreal, why does Michigan get nice things? And they just don't like, what is it? It's like, hey, we don't want to put these sanctions. Whoa, I just got really bright. Hello?
You did. You got real bright, like brighter than normal.
I know. I'm about to say, this is what people like joke that I look like. What is going on?
Yeah. Is it just is that your future in front of you? Is that it's just so bright, man?
It's so bright. I love how the NCAA is like, we don't want to put sanctions on a team and make the players pay for something that a different coaching staff did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Michigan thing is interesting and weird, and I get why there's people upset about it, like especially more so because Michigan actually won something out of it, right? They got a national championship out of it. But at the end of the day, like, I think if you're, at least this is just my perspective on the whole thing. When I saw the Michigan thing, I'm like, I really don't care. If it doesn't involve Arizona State, like I really just don't mind it. And it's the same thing that happened with like ASU in terms of like the coaches that are no longer there, right? Like Harbaugh's got a 10-year show cause penalty. The other dude, I think, has an 8-year show cause penalty. Like, they're never coaching in college football again because of what that would mean for their programs. The same goes for Herm. The same goes for Antonio Pierce. So, like, it doesn't really mean too much to me. But I understand the Arizona State side of things where it's like, it feels like we got a much harder slap on the wrist, or we actually got punishments versus what Michigan has, and they got a national championship out of it. So, like, I get the
reasoning is funny. The reason we don't want this team to pay for the sins of the coaches before.
I mean, that's every single, like, unless you're punishing a program the exact year that something happens, there's always going to be at least one individual that has to suffer the consequences of someone else's actions. That's just the way college sports works. So, like, it's been a flawed system, but surprise, the NCAA is still enforcing like broken rules and stuff that doesn't actually work. Like, I feel like you and I could run the NCAA a little bit smoother than what the actual people are doing.
I don't know, man. I can't figure out how to not make it look like I'm Casper the Ghost. So
yeah, I guess that's fair. Will does bring up the one part for me that I think, like, if I were to be frustrated, this is where it is. Where he says the worst part is that it wasn't dragged out for years to hurt the recruiting like they did with ASU. ASU's was, I mean, that was a situation that literally was at like years and years long to figure out, what kind of went down. And it felt like Michigan, like, this got resolved within just 2 seasons. So, like, I understand the frustration part of that because it did impact Arizona State recruiting. It did because it dragged on for so long, really hurt the way people view the national brand that is, or at that time was, Arizona State. So I get that part of it, but I think this kind of flows perfectly into what I want to talk about today before we actually get into what we saw from practice, like the national brand side of things for Arizona State, right? The number 11 team in the country going into this season. We know that there's a lot of Heisman candidacy hype around Sam Levitt at quarterback, Jordan Tyson, obviously a projected first-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft, potentially the first wide receiver off the board. So those little things do wonders for you to continue to try and build your national brand. But Erik, I think the Sun Devils took a big step forward in 2024, obviously winning a conference championship. And then you talk about the CFP, and Cam Scatterbo in his own right, I think, deserves his own point of conversation when it comes to this national brand. In Arizona State trying to build it. We know that's what Kenny is trying to do since he stepped foot back on campus. That was kind of, the focal point, right? The whole Activate the Valley thing. How much further do you think Arizona State still has to go to actually hit that mark of, okay, we are a national college football brand? And I don't want to throw it in there of like, oh, we're Clemson and Oregon yet, right? Because that's been part of the competitive conversation here. But just until it's like an overall nationally viewed college football brand.
Yeah, they got a long way to go. These things aren't built overnight. These things aren't built off of one good season. You know how many times we can go back in college football history and talk about even like a 1 or 2 or 3 year stretch where a school had a really good run and then they were back to oblivion or relative, inconsistency after that. To become a national brand, I know you don't want to do the Clemsons and the Oregons and everything like that, but it's like, how could you not, right? And the brand starts with the school, not the players. Right. And sometimes not even the coach. I think like Saban in Alabama is like maybe the most interesting study of that, because obviously Alabama is still a huge brand, but because Saban became synonymous with Alabama, it's like, who was really the bigger brand? Was it Saban or was it Bama?
The chicken or the egg situation with Bama and Saban.
When you think of Oregon, you think of Oregon. When you think of Ohio State, you think of Ohio State, right? When you think of Penn State, you think of Penn. You don't think of all these other things like
Penn State. You do maybe,
but here's the thing, right? Like when you're a national brand, you maintain losing NFL talent. You bring in more NFL talent. You are consistently in the top 15 to top 10 to top 5, depending on what level of national brand you want to be. It's all about consistency, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's selling yourself to the national audience. It's always being in front of them. And that doesn't happen with a couple good seasons, right? Like we're talking about potentially being on College Game Day this year for the Texas Tech game, right? If you're not on College Game Day, like once a year, are you a national college football brand?
I think that's a valid question.
Right? And we don't even know if ASU is going to get that this year, right? Because they're not like this school that just automatically, you're like, yep, football, Arizona State. I think they have the opportunity to do it, and I think they want to do it, and they know that it's going to take a lot to get it done, but they got a long way to go before people start mentioning them in the same breath as all the other teams that are national football powerhouses and brands in this country.
Yeah, Glenn brings up an interesting comment. Brand is, quote, having more fun working harder than everyone, and let's win in paradise, and it's starting to work. Baby steps. B says ASU's brand recognition has never been better as it is. I agree. I think maybe never is a stretch, but I think it's definitely better than it's been in the last 20, 25 years. But that's not where it ends, right? That's not where Kenny Dillingham wants this to go. And how often have we heard him say, hey, like we have to push the narrative of going beyond the one-hit wonder, of going beyond the flash in the pan. And we know, and you have been big on emphasizing the importance of the season. While I agree with you that this season is important, I don't think that like if this team doesn't win a national championship in 2025, or if Sam Levitt doesn't win the Heisman, I don't think that necessarily hinders where this brand is at and the steps forward. Now, I think there is a clear point where you bring up, okay, if you're not consistently on College Game Day, are you considered a national college football brand? I would argue probably not, right? Because that is the like game day experience, literally College Game Day goes to the best game every week. And if you don't get that opportunity at least once, then yeah, I would say you still have a little bit of a ways to go. So yeah, there is pressure for Arizona State, I think, to continue to build hype around this program. I think they've done a phenomenal job pushing the narrative that Sam Levitt is going to be a Heisman candidate, pushing the narrative that Jordan Tyson is one of the best wide receivers in college football. But it does take things kind of outside of their control, right? Arizona State is going to be a top 10 team in the country by the end of that first week in college football. That is just the way the cookie is going to crumble, given the top 10 matchups that you have in the first couple weeks of the season. So we're talking about Arizona State going to have to take care of business the first several weeks of the year. And then in reality, like there is going to be a lot of pressure on Texas Tech to try and live up to their hype, to live up to the expectations that have been set upon them. Because Arizona State can be as good as they want, but if Texas Tech or Baylor or Iowa State don't match that, then guess what? You won't get a College Game Day game. They're not going to just go watch one top 10 team go beat up on another Big 12 team. So part of it, I think, does fall on the conference as a whole. And I think this is a great year for the conference to elevate a brand, right? Texas and Oklahoma dominated the Big 12 for such a long period of time, regardless of the whole narrative that only Oklahoma went back-to-back 1 year and it's never been done outside of that, right? Everybody knows that for such a long period of time, it was Texas, it was Oklahoma. Those two were definitely the biggest national brands that this conference had. They went to the SEC. Right now, how often on College Game Day are we talking about, oh, there's an SEC matchup. Oh, there's a Big Ten matchup. Oh, there's Clemson and whoever the hell is the second best team in the ACC. How often do you really see a Big 12 College Game Day atmosphere? Or even going back, how often did you see a Pac-12 game day atmosphere? That is the level that Arizona State needs to match. They need to do something, again, that hasn't really been done in the Big 12 recently, that hasn't been done, in the Pac-12 in quite some time. Because if you weren't one of the LA schools and if you weren't Oregon, you weren't getting a College Game Day game. And the same thing goes for the Big 12. If you weren't TCU the 1 year that they went to the Natty, if you weren't Texas or Oklahoma, sorry, like you could have all the great games you wanted, but ESPN wasn't making that the game of the week, right? Because that's what it is. The national brand, the worldwide leader, allegedly, is putting you on a big pedestal, this big game. They want to watch the best of the best in college football. I think now you are slowly starting to get to that point at Arizona State, right? Another batch of scouts out at practice today. We've seen scouts at just about every single practice. When Arizona State is able to get through with this season, I think you will then get a better picture as to where Arizona State stands on a national focus. Let's say they get a college game day game. Let's say they get 9 to 10 NFL draft picks with one being a first rounder in there. Let's say they make the CFP. All of those things are going to have this hype train moving even further toward the right direction in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this season being massive, but it's not just massive because of this season. It's massive because it lays the groundwork for how ASU is going to be talked about all next offseason and what kind of coverage you're going to get going into the next season and where they're going to be in the AP Top 25. I mean, think about how awesome it is to have a Jordan Tyson and a Sam Levin and a team that's the number 11 team in the country. And, you know, there are articles and features and stories and video packages on Kenny Dillingham. And like, there's so much more conversation about this program than there was 365 days ago. And all of it being positive, like none of it being negative, right? Think about what another year like that would do, because that year it's not going to be a surprise, right? And then people could start going into next season and saying, all right, Arizona State back-to-back dominant seasons, put somebody in the Heisman conversation again, had somebody in the Blitnikoff conversation, Kenny Dillingham, a conversation for Coach of the Year, won the Big 12 in the college football playoffs. Like, that becomes an expectation at that point. Right. And I think Bees has a good point where it's not just like ASU doesn't just need this for ASU. The Big 12 needs this. The Big 12 needs Arizona State to be their powerhouse. Right. Because when you look at all these other teams, right, Texas Tech has never been a powerhouse. They've never been a team. I think they have one season of double-digit wins. Or maybe that was Iowa State. Iowa State has one season of double-digit wins. Right?
They had their best season ever recently.
Right. Like, you're not looking at these brands, right? Like Utah, sure. Like Utah's awesome as far as consistency as a program goes. Is Utah talked about as a national brand in college football? And even though they were consistently good in the in the Pac-12? No, exactly. Because they were just consistently good. We're not talking about consistently good. We're talking about consistently great. That's the difference. We're talking about a higher bar than what Kyle Whittingham established in Utah. And if I told you 2 years ago that ASU would become Utah, we would all be happy. And I think at the end of the day, like having 20 years of consistently good football, like nobody's going to complain about that. But that's not what we're talking about here, right? We think that as long as Kenny is here, they're going to field a serviceable to above average to good team. Right. Yeah. But can they be consistently great? Can they be back-to-back champions? Can they be the team that when you're talking about the Big 12, that's Arizona State's conference? Like that's the conversation that we're talking about here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Joe brings up an interesting point. He says, I think the Big 12 would like whoever wins next weekend to go on and run the conference, wouldn't mind KSU or ISU. I think, and that's real, right? I think we sit here and say, hey, Brett Yormark is looking for Arizona State to be that national brand. In all honesty, I think Brett Yormark in this conference will take whoever's going to get it, right? Sure. You have to be like dominant. You have to be to the point where it is like, yeah, Arizona State is that team. What does that take? In reality, it takes you whooping the rest of this conference's ass for the next 2 years, probably. We're talking about you having to win the conference again this year and be in that conversation again for a third year for people in this conference to really give you that respect, right? Because we're sitting here, Kenny sat up there. Everyone knows that nobody wins this conference twice, not in a row. It doesn't happen, right? Oklahoma did it the one time. So even if you do it one other time, there are still going to be folks that are saying, oh, well, you had Sam. Sam's gone. Jordan's gone. Defense is gone. Now what? Because that's why Texas and Oklahoma were so dominant in that conversation of every year, because they reloaded, right? They weren't retooling. It was reloading, and then we're running into this next season. Arizona State is going to have to do that regardless if they win the Big 12 again in 2025. But look, the national brand conversation doesn't stop there. That's actually where it starts. But we're going to hit pause just for a second, and we'll see you guys on the other side of this quick break.
Here's the thing about APS is that a lot of the times you don't really have a choice on if you're going to use it or not. And so they could just kick their feet up and say, deal with it. But that's not who they are. They don't want to be a service. They want to service the community. And that's why they're always looking for ways to help you save money, like the smart thermostat. I'm not even lying to you right now when I tell you I use my smart thermostat during this show because I sat down and realized I forgot to turn the fan on in here and it got hot. And I said, I'm not dealing with that, but I can't leave the screen. The people need me. So I pulled out my phone and I turned down my smart thermostat with APS. And did you know nearly half of your energy costs come from cooling and heating? You probably did because you listened to the ad reads, but you could save up to 2 to 3% on your cooling costs with APS, even if you're not home. Plus, you can get a smart thermostat for as low as $0 if you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program and are eligible. If you already have a smart thermostat at home like us, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, plus free installs available at the link in our video description. You must be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information.
15 days. That's it till Arizona State plays a college football game in 2025. It is right around the corner, which means you guys need to get your tickets to go to Mountain America Stadium to check out the Devils, or maybe you want to go to State Farm Stadium to check out those Arizona Cardinals, or maybe you're itching for basketball season to be back. Regardless of what your favorite sport is, Game Time, they've got tickets for you. And my personal favorite part about the Game Time experience is, as a procrastinator, I know Erik Ruby is one as well. With Game Time, it feels like the deals get better the longer you wait. They do have last minute deals where you guys can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. They've also got zone deals where you guys can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the actual seats. Regardless, make sure you guys take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Got a question for you.
Okay, I potentially have an answer for you.
Are you sitting in a patio chair?
I'm not sitting in a patio chair, no.
It looks like a patio chair.
No, this is just a normal chair, my guy.
Sorry, just curious. Also, I have a question for everybody who's watching right now. Did you hit the like button?
Took the words out of my mouth, man.
Button? If you're listening on audio, did you rate us 5 stars?
I mean, we should all be doing that at this point. Like, I feel like it's second nature. At least it is for me. It's what I do every day. I just hit that.
You're always leaving us 5-star reviews.
Always. I mean, how could you not? Right? Look. Getting back to the national brand conversation before we dive into some of those practice observations today, Erik, I think, again, going back to that conversation of Arizona State needs to be successful this year, yes, but they also need to be successful the following year if there is going to be that real conversation of, okay, you're a national brand. But is this something that if you're the Sun Devils, like, I know that the team's not looking at it like this, and I know Kenny is talking more so about, like, okay, national brands, what we're building, but we know their focus is so day in, day out. Like, they're not focused on the overarching, like, picture here. It's just ultimately going to come together one day when you have supreme success. So, like, outside of things that this team can't really control, right? Because you can't necessarily control what the opposition does to get you that college game day game. You can only be as good as you can be. What are some of the actual deliverables that this team can put forward, do you think, in 2025 to where we can almost have a checklist of, like, okay, that's what a national brand does. That's what a national brand does. Okay, we're in the right direction.
A national brand makes it to back-to-back championship games, let alone wins them. A national brand puts players in the national conversation. We're talking multiple All-Americans. We're talking about Heisman and Blitnikoff. I mean, I feel like we've talked about, like, what they need to do. I feel like I kind of want to talk about what the support system around them has to do to get there. Because, listen, and we can start with, like, ASU is like an athletic department, and I think they've done a very good job of investing and highlighting, you know, this school. But you still have Kenny Dillingham talking about getting an indoor facility built, right? You know, that's something to where maybe that doesn't mean that the AP is going to rank you 3 spots higher in their top 25, or there's going to be a national article about you, but it is going to mean something when it comes to retaining players, getting new recruits. Like, You know the term dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have? Have the infrastructure for the program you want, not the program you have.
Yeah.
Get that indoor practice facility. You know, continue to make sure that, you know, the fans are getting the best experience in Mountain America Stadium, right? Don't price anybody out, even if the team is really good, to keep those true and loyal fans in there. Continue to offer incentives for students until their only incentive is, hey, we're going to kick some ass every Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And I think also as fans, we have a responsibility to show up and to support this team, because there's no way in hell that you're going to be a national brand if you're not a local one. You know, like Penn State was a team that we mentioned earlier. You want to know what's iconic about Penn State? The whiteout games, right? Like the fans are one of the biggest selling pieces to like this program of like, oh man, this whiteout game is one of the most insane things in all of sports, and ESPN's running stories about it whenever it happens every week.
It's also the biggest stadium in college football.
Right. And so you're not gonna get the biggest stadium in college football, right? But could you have the rowdiest? Could you have the most fun? Could you have the best game day experiences? Could you consistently sell out to the point where it's like, as much as I love the fact that they're giving more tickets away to the season ticket holders for free, you know, as like a reward and as a thank you, it's like, selfishly, I kind of want to be at a point where there aren't tickets to give away.
Well, yeah. And that's something, again, that like I want to get into, because I think when you bring up the like showing up and going the extra mile to be a local brand before you're a national brand, I think Kenny and this football team have done that. Like,
sure,
we saw last year the push that Kenny had made to do local things with the local brands, local car dealerships. We saw Sam and Scat doing a bunch of things all over the place. We know there's a bunch of players doing stuff with Burrito Express this year, right? Again, like continuing to keep like a local tie and local brands to it. And the big thing is, I think, when we talk about showing up, and there are little things that showing up does for the actual program that I don't think like the casual fan necessarily thinks about. So the whole giving away the extra tickets, right? The 4 extra tickets to season ticket holders. I don't necessarily see that as like giving them away or begging people to come to the game. I see it more so of like, hey, we are going to do everything that we possibly can with 2 weeks and a day left till kickoff to ensure that this stadium is filled to the brim, like before we even get to the point of like, hey, it's game day. And of course, it's the first game of the season. It is NAU. So I understand the drawback from maybe the casual fan to be like, hey, why am I going to watch NAU? Well, guess what? Don't think of it like that. Think of it like, hey, I'm going to watch the highest ranked Arizona State team in the AP top 25 in 2 decades. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch the number 11 team in the country go play football today literally in the side of a mountain. And then I can go to the bars afterward. I'm going to watch a potential Heisman level quarterback and a top 10 draft pick at wide receiver go play football today. I'm going to watch the top 15 defense in the nation go beat up on little brother up north. That's the mentality that you need to have when it comes to being an Arizona State fan. It goes to what Kenny says, right? Kenny says every day or every week when you talk to him about, oh, what does this team do well? What does this team do well? Referring to the opposition, right? When you play Baylor, when you play Texas Tech, when you play Iowa State, well, what challenges do they present? And he gives you some answer, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, but we're going to focus on us. We're worried about us, right? How do we get better? And I think that's the narrative and the mentality that the fan base can take with them to each and every game this season of like, how can we improve this program? And literally all it takes is showing up, because you pack that stadium, right? This team, these players, when they have an opportunity next year to decide if they want to come back or if they want to go somewhere else, it's going to be those packed stadiums that they remember. It's going to be those blackout games, those like Maroon Monsoon games, the gold games, like the BYU game that you had last year. Those are the memories that ultimately get these players to come back. And it's also those moments that when recruits are on the sidelines, when they're in the stands, when they're watching Arizona State games at home, and it's between you and Oregon, or it's between you and Alabama, and they see that environment, regardless of who you're playing, NAU or U of A or Texas, that's what they remember. is seeing not only a great football team, but seeing a great environment. That is half the battle to building a national brand.
Well, a couple of things. I think that the giving away the tickets was the right move for this situation, right? That was not me saying like, oh, as a program, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, you should. Like, again, getting the most people in seats is your job. You do what you can, right? I think that even if you I know that if you talk to people within the program or within ASU athletics, it's like, getting people to not just show up, but stay is still at the forefront of their mind. Yeah. And you can tell because they tell you, right? National brands, if we're having this conversation about national brands, they don't have to sell themselves. They don't have to ask people to show up. They don't have to ask people to say. And Arizona State as a football program is good enough right now that they shouldn't have to do that. But the reality of the situation is last season, they had to give out free food to get students to stay for the entire game. The reality is when you ask a player about one of their favorite memories from last season or how important this specific game was, it's BYU and it's always BYU. It's the homecoming game. And the players are like, it was different. It shouldn't be different. You should be there every week like that because like you mentioned, the selling point is the fact that this team is damn good. Like there's no argument about it. Like we did a whole show about doubts and literally every single one was, well, they have a solution, right? Then we do a whole show about why they're going to be great. And it's like, yeah, all these things can fall into place. And will it be perfect and will they win every game? Maybe, but probably not, right? The thing is, when you're a national brand and you're Alabama and you play week 1 at home, guess what? You sell out. It doesn't matter if you're playing Troy. It doesn't matter if you're playing Williams Mary's Field from Tulane, the West Campus. Like, dude, they're selling out, right? Like, as a national brand, it shouldn't matter who you're playing. It should matter that you're playing. Yeah. And that is the point where Arizona State needs to get. But we know, and we know this because you and I, we cover this team. We do shows 5 days a week. We know the fans. The fans know themselves and they know other fans. Arizona State fans can be fickle sometimes to the point of you got to win for them to show up. And I'm not even just saying that from just an ASU perspective. That is the state. Like, if you're not winning, if you're not winning, you're not getting your fans to show up.
No, right? That's 100% true.
And so when you're sitting here and it's like, okay, you won for one season and the diehards are going to just go nuts, right? You're going to have no problem getting tailgates lit because everybody's going to be pumped. The people who always had season tickets, they're going to continue to have season tickets and they're going to be just as loud, right? Who are you trying to get? You're trying to get, Joe on the street who hasn't watched an ASU football game in 3.5 years because he was so disappointed in the product. And now he realizes, like, I'm missing out. Like, I need to be there, right? And you do that by winning consistently. When, like, Kenny's done a great job activating the Valley and getting it to a way better spot. But let's not pretend like that he is even where he wants to be. Like, It should be sold out every single week in, week out. And you only do that by winning every single damn week.
M brings up a good point. There are a couple of really good points in the chat. M says the quote, sleeping giant has never been the team. It's always been the fan base. And B says it kind of goes both ways. Like Alabama wouldn't sell out if it was a 3-win season the following year. Right. And I think that's fair because Nick Saban has said in the past, like he's gone off on press conferences about, fans not staying the entire time or it not being a sellout to come watch the number 1 team in the country. But as somebody who's been doing this show with several hosts over the years and has seen the program, not this program, but literally Arizona State football go from cold to hot to on fire. Shane and I have gotten into this a little bit we've kind of bumped heads on the whole narrative of, okay, what comes first, on-field success or fans showing up, right? Because that's at the heart of the conversation today about building a national brand, starting local, it just put butts in seats and win ball games, right? That's ultimately as simple as you can break this down to. And for Arizona State, I was always on the side of, well, hey, you have to win games. When you're in a market that has a national basketball team, when you're in a market that has an NFL team, when you're in a market that has a baseball team, heck, when you're in a market that you could drive 2 hours south and you have a whole nother college football team, you have to win. Otherwise, the fans have every right to go watch another game. In reality, a lot of people aren't diehard fans, especially here. They're just fans. So what do they want to do on a Friday or a Saturday night? Do they want to watch and pay money to go see a team get their ass beat? No. Why? I'd rather just go watch the Suns play, or I could go watch the D-backs play, or I could go to a Mercury game. There are so many different things that you can be doing. But here we are, years later from me rambling from this argument, saying that, well, you got to win first. And, well, guess what? Arizona State won. They're the reigning Big 12 champions. They beat Iowa State to a pulp after the Cyclones had their best season in program history. They churned out the best single season from a running back in program history and sent him to the league. And guess what? They went to the college football playoff, and they were a play away from beating the SEC's best and sending them home. And now you go into 2025, again, 15 days till kickoff, and you have all the things that we've spent the entire summer talking about. You have a dominant defense, top 15 in the country. You got a damn good quarterback in Sam Leavitt. You have potentially the best wide receiver in college football in Jordan Tyson. And you got the man in the valley himself, Kenny Dillingham, whose hair is always on fire about how much he loves the Sun Devils. So guess what? The same folks that were with me 2 years ago when I made that argument of, hey, you got to win, this team's got to win before butts get in seats, they won. Now it's your turn. Now you got to show up. You got to do your part. If you love seeing Arizona State and that pitchfork on ESPN, if you love just talking with your friends who are fans of other programs about how Arizona State is going to be better, about how the Sun Devils are ranked higher, about how Kenny Dillingham has this team on College game day maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times any given year, well, it's up to you to fill Mountain America Stadium to make that environment as electric as it possibly can, because Arizona State not only won last year, they were undefeated at home at Mountain America Stadium in that environment. That needs to happen again. The more that happens, the more the Sun Devils actually feel like they have a home field advantage at home, the more dangerous this team and this program are going to be for years to come. I'm going to let everybody cool down here for a second before we dive into some practice updates and some sound from Kenny Dillingham and, of course, QB1 Sam Leavitt. We're going to cool down with a quick break. Erik, what do we got going on this weekend? What am I going to be doing?
You're going to be watching UFC.
I'm going to be watching UFC, but I'm not going to be just sitting at home all sober watching UFC. I'm going to be indulging in some pure edibles because, are you kidding me? Who doesn't want to watch fights with gummies? Like, are we being serious right now? Guys, Pure, a full-fledged candy company offering gummies. They've got Kicks, which are their version of Starburst. I mean, who doesn't like the taste of Starburst? They got Chews, soft candies like caramel, and then hard candies as well. They taste like candy, but they're not covered in sugar like all of their competitors. If you don't believe me, go give it a shot. Also, one of my favorite parts about Pure Edibles is they clearly list the effects on each tin, so you know exactly what effects you guys can expect. If you're going to be indulging in some UFC and Pure Edibles with me, well, try the uplifting ones. If you are somebody that is trying to call it an early night at 8 or 9 p.m. but can't sleep, aka me during the week, well, try the sleep support gummies because those work as well. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
If you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd, might I introduce you to Branded Bills? They have you covered with the best custom headwear. And that's why I love always rocking our custom Phoenix PHNX Branded Bills hat, because it's stylish, check. It's comfortable, check. And the thing is, it's high quality. I have worn that thing out to Camp T. I've worn it out and about on the town. I've worn it to work. And you know me, I wear hats every single day. And that hat is just as good as the day that I stole it from Max's office. Listen, whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. They have partnerships with 40 universities across the country, but only one of those is the important one. And that, of course, is Arizona State University. They also partner with your Phoenix Suns, fighting for the play-in. And they're a local company out of Mesa, Arizona. Head to BrandonBills.com. Use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. Clint says
you look
better with the close-up angle. Marriage has the boy looking right. I guess it's good that the closer the camera gets to my face, the better that I look.
Yeah, I would say that's actually a rare thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll take it though. Thank you, Clint. I think I have a couple. Is it okay? I got a couple more things on what we were talking about. Is that okay?
Just rip, man. Just
do
what you got to do. Yeah, man. Just rip, man.
I think there's a couple of things. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I would say that I can pretty accurately speak for the local Arizona sports fan, the local fan who was born and raised here. And I would say I have a pretty good understanding of this market and the appetite for certain teams. And I will tell you, as somebody who will watch every single team, even when they are trash, night in and night out, that type of person is rare in this state. And there is a couple of differences in that. And I'm not saying it's rare here because this is the best place for it. We have the highest concentration of it, right? But there's a couple things, right? This is a transplant state, okay? A lot of people move here who didn't grow up here, and a lot of people go to ASU that did not grow up in Arizona. And I know a lot of people from when I went to school that were fans of other college teams while they were attending ASU. Totri, we were in school at the same time. How often would you see at Cronkite somebody walking around with an Oregon sweater or a Notre Dame shirt or an LSU? Like, it's more often than you would think. Yeah. Right? And so in order to usurp people's interest in these other things, whether it's sports or whether it's lifestyle, right? Like, there's a lot of things to do on a Saturday night, on a Saturday morning, on a Saturday afternoon, especially when you get to the end of the year and the weather's nice. Like, you're competing against a lot, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, for every single team here, diehards to the side, we know that y'all are a different breed. You will not get consistent fan support if you do not win first. Now, is that the same way everywhere? No, the Chicago Bulls still sell out US Airways Center, and it's the biggest arena in the NBA, and they suck. They suck.
Every year.
Every single year, they are top 5 in attendance in the NBA, and they sell out every home game, right? It's not the same everywhere, but let's just be honest about this state. You need to win. It's brutal. It is brutal to be at the top of everybody's mind in this state because they're either not from here or they got something else to do. And if you're Arizona State, not just that, but also Bees' point earlier, who says Arizona State fans are basically conditioned to not expect a good thing to last more than 1 year, to just be a flash in the pan. And even if we all believe that this is still going to be a good team, how could you not in the back of your mind think, well, not great stuff has happened before.
I mean, that goes
holding a little space.
That goes to some personal trauma that I know we've talked about.
Again, as somebody who knows the local sports fan base, we are full of trauma. In fact, that might be our number one personality trait is traumatized. You know? So it's like Arizona State is fighting an uphill battle, and I think we need to recognize that the school can do everything right. The football team can be good. The basketball team can be good. Men's and women's, softball, baseball, volleyball, hockey, whatever. They can all be good, right? You're still fighting an uphill battle that a lot of other universities would not have to do that. So you have to give them credit for still finding a way to get the hockey turnout to be the way that it is, right? To get the softball turnout to be the way that it is. Volleyball as well, who went on and had an incredible season under JJ Van Niel.
Yeah.
But in order to be a national brand, in order to be a brand that people are driving down the street and they see your billboard that says Arizona State plays NAU this Saturday, and you get FOMO that you're not going to be there. In order for that to happen, you have to become undeniable. And right now, Arizona State, for all the great things we're talking about, is not undeniable. 1 season doesn't make you undeniable. 2 seasons doesn't make you undeniable. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 whole recruiting cycles going in and out and consistently being good. Only then do you become undeniable. There is nothing that Arizona State can do this season to secure that fans are going to show up 5 years from now. Nothing.
They could win a national championship. That might do it.
Sure. But
a national championship would do it.
If 4 years from now you've fallen off the cliff and you're 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, you're not eating off that natty.
Reality says if you win a national championship, you're not going to fall off 4 years later.
Sure.
Like that's just based off of historic
national championship and they fell off.
But they didn't win it. They didn't win the national championship.
No, they didn't win it, but they were there. They were on the doorstep of it, right? So it's like, again, I don't think these things are going to happen. And I have faith in Kenny, and you have to have somebody who's there consistently. Like Kenny is the brand, right? Arizona State is the brand. Winning is the brand. And luckily, Kenny literally negotiated a contract that gives him an automatic 1-year extension every time he makes a damn bowl game, right? So at least you have that to be your consistent factor. This is just something that it's like, I just don't think people fully grasp the uphill battle that any sporting team has here to become must-see TV, must-attend events, whatever it is. And Arizona State football in general, they've got a big hill to climb, but they can climb it.
They can, and they got to do it one game at a time. And I think, again, it's always fun to talk about the big overarching part of this conversation, but it is a day-by-day type of thing. And Arizona State accomplished their day today, got another practice behind them, which is 15 days till the start of the season. Kenny Dillingham, Sam Levitt with some interesting stuff post practice. Of course, today's practice felt a little bit more competitive. A lot of energy today between the offense and the defense. Get a little chippy out there as well, which, you like to see it, especially at this point where everybody's itching to go play somebody else and hit up on somebody that's not an actual teammate of theirs. Kenny was asked post-practice today just about the energy, about the vibes, and he gave an answer not just on that, but also on how practice will start to transition into more of a game day preparation.
Yeah, good energy for this late in practice. This late in practice, we got to find the balance. Like I said, from now on, it's going to be penalties, personal fouls, roughness penalties, all that stuff will be treated like a full game, right? Celebration penalties, usually leading up to this point. I just want energy and juice, guys fly around and have passion. At this point, we're going to transition starting tomorrow into you have to treat every rep like game day. If you celebrate the new rules, right, you can't do anything that simulates a weapon, right? So let's not show anything that could be violent in a celebration, anything that's close, right? Don't do it, right? If you celebrate, find a teammate with somebody to celebrate with. If somebody, cheap shots you, which they shouldn't do, don't retaliate. So we're going to really challenge our guys these last 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks and 1 day actually, to really prep for game day.
Love it. Absolutely love that that's where Arizona State and Kenny has taken this with about 2 weeks left, especially given kind of the change that he said, right? Where normally it's just like we want as much energy and focus as we can. Now it's going to be a little bit more of a transition into, okay, how does the number 11 team in the country not only keep up the competitive nature and the energy, but also, Erik, how do they stay composed?
You can't you can't simulate weapons when you celebrate anymore? I didn't know.
No, you can't. Although I will say, I'm not going to tell you who, but for a while so far in practice, there have been a couple players, 2 specifically, simulating the Ja Morant grenade pull and throwing it and then hands to the ears, which in all honesty
is a great celebration.
It's a great celebration.
Dude, the best part about that is when he did that for the first time, somebody took a picture after he threw it, so it looked like a flash.
Oh, they got a flash, right?
It was
yeah.
So hard. Too bad Ja Morant is booty cheeks. Maybe not booty cheeks, but anyway, that's my NBA brain. Yeah, man. I mean, I like that they're gonna have to Kenny knows that this team is going to be like a dog let loose. Yeah, against NAU. And every week, they hate going 1 day without playing football, let alone 6, right? So he knows that they might be prone to some penalties, and targeting and whatnot was a problem with this team last year. Whether you believe that should have been called or not, it was, and it was a prevalent theme throughout the season. So to now install hey, we know that you're going to be hype. We know that you're going to want to get going and all of that, but we're going to have the hall monitor here to make sure that you're also knowing that you can't be doing this on Saturdays, because remember how mad he was at Cam for getting that, was it the celebration penalty?
Yeah, he signed a football.
Yeah, which was, I mean, again, hard as hell. Almost said a word I couldn't say. That's how hard it was. But he doesn't want to deal with that. And like, there's another reality where like a penalty like that could cost you a game, right? So it's a nice balance, get the energy going, but also you can't just like let them roam free because they're dogs. They will literally go crazy.
Literally. Well, look, we got some updates on what Sam thinks of the running back room and potentially an update on the starting center for the start of the 2025 season. But before that, we are going to take our final break.
I don't know if you know this, Totri, but you, me, and Cam Scadaboo all have something in common.
Tell me.
We all got checking accounts. Now, maybe his checking account looks a little bit better off than ours, considering all the ads and the rookie contract.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
He's got that New York rent now.
Sure. That's holding him back. But everybody needs a checking account, so might as well get an account with built-in benefits. That's where Mountain America Credit Union comes into play with their My Style checking account that has perks just for you. You get the same perks as Cam Scadaboo. I'm talking restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. So be like Cam Scadaboo. Make My Style your lifestyle. At Mountain America Credit Union, visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA, membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions. Dude, they apply. Come on.
They apply.
They apply.
Look, you've got a place to put your money, and now you need somebody to help you save it. Well, Circle K, they're helping you do it every single day with their free membership program, Inner Circle. Okay, it's super easy to get enrolled and to sign up. Download the app from the App Store, email, phone number, boom. That's it. You're an Inner Circle member. Next time you pull up to the pump, 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then you guys can save 3 cents per gallon every single day. After that, not to mention Inner Circle pretty much gives you access to these really cool things called Inner Circle Fuel Days. And we got one coming up on August 21st from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Circle K going to be having an Inner Circle Fuel Day where registered participants can use their phone number to receive, get this, 40 cents off per gallon at participating locations. Save money every single day with Circle K, not just on gas, but on drinks, on snacks, and all the things that they have. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Rubus.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Arizona State running backs?
Good.
That's it? That's all we got? Good?
Yeah.
Erik like running back.
Yes.
That's where we're at right now.
Run ball fast.
Yeah. Run ball fast, run ball hard, score touchdown. That's what all of the Arizona State running backs are going to be doing here in 2025. Sam Levitt had some things to say about the three-headed monster in the backfield. This is QB1 on the Arizona State running backs.
It's a super fun group, got a few guys that can do a little bit of everything, per guy, really fast out the backfield. Sip's got some long speed too, and he's really good, really smart, really good in protection, got really good ball skills, and then Kanye comes in and he's a bruiser, getting better in the backfield, seeing gaps and everything like that. But, we just got a whole bunch of people who can do different things, so I'm excited to see when the lights come on, what really happens.
That is the exciting part about this, right? You had one player who could do a bunch of different things last year. Now you have 3 players that could all do a bunch of different things, 3 completely different styles of running backs, 3 completely different bodies, 3 completely different experience levels, right? And 3 completely different chips on their shoulders in order to prove things, right? Raleek Brown wants to play. Just put it how it is. Dude wants to play. He wants to contribute. He's not had the chance to do that here at Arizona State. Kyson Brown wants to be like, hey, I've been here. I've been producing. I've been growing. I've been getting better. Let me show y'all what I'm really about now that I've been here for a couple of years. And then Kanye has a chip on his shoulder to say, hey, I need to do this on a power 4 level. I need to go out there and I need to prove to people that I'm not just the Army running back, right? I'm not just the guy that got those numbers because they ran the ball a ton on the team that I was on. No, I'm that dude. And I'm going to show y'all I'm that dude. And I'm going to the NFL, whether you like it or not. They all have 3 different chips on their shoulders and 3 different bags to pull from. I'm super excited about this room.
And all 3 of them are going to have the same center that is going to be blocking for them. The question is, which center will that be? Is it going to be Wade Helton, the Iowa State transfer, or is it going to be Ben Coleman, who was your premier left guard last season for Arizona State? Just an update from practice from what we've been seeing. Again, Wade Helton and Ben Coleman both getting first team reps with the starters at the center spot. Now, when Wade is at center, Ben Coleman kicks to left guard. When Wade is not the starting center and Ben Coleman is the center, you have a Big Bo at left guard as well. So definitely some things that we're going to continue to see. Kenny said again after practice today that they're just trying to find the best 5, and then realistically the best 5 after that. He says both of them can snap the football. So this feels like, to me, Kenny's just keeping the cards close to the vest, as close as he possibly can, until we get probably about a week away from kickoff, so you actually see that official depth chart for Arizona State. Really interested to see if it's Ben Coleman listed as the starter, or if you have Wade Helton or Ben Coleman listed as the starter. But make sure you follow PHNX Sun Devils on social for all of those practice updates. Make sure you become a PHNX diehard as well. Go phnx.com/diehard for all extra content that we provide. Of course, there's going to be some diehard exclusive content hitting the diehards feed a little bit later on today. Some of those exclusive interviews from Camp Tontozona, which I know was a lot of fun. But it is Friday, so it wouldn't be a true Friday if we didn't have a hot or not. 3 random topics from the freckled Mamba. Join in with us if you're familiar with the segment. If you're not, well, you'll catch on. We pretty much just agree or argue on these 3 random topics. What do you got for us, Aryton?
What's up, guys? My first topic today is the mouthpieces that you use in football, but they almost look like pacifiers. You got the super big front on them. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Not hot.
Not hot.
No. Looking like a baby. I don't know. Maybe this is just unk status, but I don't like it.
Okay. So I think for me, like, I get like the aesthetic behind it, why it's like not aesthetically pleasing for like somebody. In terms of like functionality, if it's a mouthpiece that detaches and it has that, it's nice because then you could just stick it in your helmet without like the mouth part actually going into your mouth.
Sure.
So like I get that part of it. Like it's functionally fine. I don't honestly feel any type of way about it. Like I don't care if it's a pacifier.
That's not how
look,
this segment works.
or if it's like got the fangs on it. I'm gonna say hot, man. To each their own. Everybody's got their own style. If you want to look like a baby out there at 6'4", 230, that's up to you, man.
All right, my second one is arugula. The food arugula.
Now, if it's just like straight up arugula, it's not hot. But like arugula in like a dish or in like a meal, that's hot. But like there's context with everything.
I don't know if I've ever had just straight arugula, like by itself.
I'd hope not. That'd be kind of psychotic behavior.
Let me
like a handful of arugula.
Let's see. Is arugula just like a type of lettuce?
Yeah,
it's almost spicy.
Okay,
spicy
Not
lettuce.
To be a white guy, but
peppery, slightly bitter flavor. Nah, I mean, what are we doing, dude?
I wouldn't call it spicy. I wouldn't call it spicy.
Spicy lettuce.
It's got a kick. I'd call it spicy.
It's got a kick. We're just saying arugula by itself.
Straight up.
You can make up arugula. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say not hot. I just don't see the purpose behind it. To be honest with it, like, what are we doing? Like, maybe if it's like the last thing that you have in your fridge and you're hungry and you got no money. I mean, maybe.
I mean, if it's the only thing I have left to eat, then I'm eating a handful of arugula. But I guarantee you, if that's the only thing I have left to eat, like,
I'm just going hungry at that point, man.
I'm eating the spicy lettuce.
Eating the spicy lettuce. Will says hot, but only as a garnish. And Glenn talking about the pacifier mouthpiece, saying it's look at me vibes. Yeah.
Again, arugula is fine with something, but if you are just eating straight up arugula, no.
Yeah,
bad
I'm here
vibes.
for that.
Bad vibes.
Before we get to the final hot or not, Wes Bezzy in the chat, Champ Westbrook's dad, saying, I need to know who is the best tailgate in Mountain America, who is the misting fans and AC units in the parking lot. Respond. let Wes Bezzy know. Let everybody know the best tailgate that you got going on at Mountain America Stadium. Again, just Sun Devil fans welcoming other Sun Devil fans into.
Hey, let us know.
Tailgate.
Maybe we'll slide.
Yeah, facts. Crafty Devils does have a really good one. We've been there. We were there a lot for the BYU
game. They welcomed us with open arms and shots.
Yeah, hell of a time, man. Bring us home, Aryton, on this lovely Arugula Friday.
All right, final one. Putting your first and or last name on your license plate.
Is this because of Espo's license plate?
No, this is just in general.
Oh wait, no, he doesn't.
Putting your first and or last. First off, putting your first and last name on your license plate like together is crazy work.
Number? Social security number?
Crazy work to be doing that. Like what? What are we talking about? I'm gonna say not hot.
Yeah, not hot.
Literally, I'm just not a fan of like custom license plates in general. I think they're tacky.
I do like a custom license plate. I saw an Activate one with the ASU license plate. I think some custom license plate are cool, and some of them make you look like the cringiest person that's ever existed.
But it takes
there are
some
some cool
balance.
It's a really fine line with custom license plates.
I'll get Ruby on mine if you get Totri on yours.
Hell no. I am not paying money to put your name on my car. No, you wouldn't. No, I would show up. I would show up with my Totri license plate, and you'd be like, "I'm not doing that."
If you have a Totri license plate, I would put Ruby on the back of mine.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No. On your new car? No way, bro.
I would.
No way.
100% would. I would.
Now I kind of.
You don't believe me? Do it.
So like, what else? Are we putting something else at like the end? Like, because I don't know.
What do you want to put?
Is it just Ruby and Totri? I feel like the Ruby one's probably taken. Most likely.
I mean,
Totri's probably free.
Probably. Depending on how people spell it. Yeah, it's probably free. Swirl Girl is a good one. We could do that.
I was thinking Swirl Girl, Hall Monitor. I don't know if there's a way to do that. HL.
Chicken Little. There's definitely a way to do that one.
Chicken Little. What about you?
Pine Mouse. Old Dog Legs.
We should just if we ever need to fill time for a show, which it isn't gonna happen until like February. We should just be like, here's 5 minutes of every single nickname we've ever given Erik.
Yeah. I mean, we get into some of the ones that we can't say on camera.
Diehards only.
Diehards only. Well, look, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils
Rubber Ducky, bro. I forgot about the Rubber Ducky.
We appreciate everybody hopping in today or listening on audio. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button on your way out. If you enjoyed today's content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow my Strawberry Swirl Girl here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. And you can follow the man behind the Mac at Freckled Mamba. And guys, we will see you on Monday. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.